Auditioning for Jimi Hendrix. Now that's a feat. Roger Earl, who would go on to form Foghat, he's the only original member left. Sonic Mojo was a new album they've just released. But in this one, we talk about all kinds of beautiful things, most notably being young, trying to do what Mitch Mitchell eventually did with Jimi Hendrix. And as Roger said, he didn't get the gig, but, well, Mitch, he was the right guy. Let's talk about Foghat, a British band that emerged in the early 70s, known for their blues-infused rock and boogie style. The group was formed in 1971 by former members of the blues rock band Savoy Brown. The original lineup included Lonesome Dave Peverett on lead vocals and rhythm guitar, Tony Stevens on bass guitar, Roger Earl drums, and Rod Price lead and slide guitar. The founding members were seasoned musicians. Lonesome Dave was known for his gritty style voice, energetic stage presence, and of course, a creative force in that band. Tony Stevens, as a bassist in this type of band, was crucial. Then Roger Earl, what a character. A very powerful drummer. And Rod Price's distinctive slide guitar, a trademark in the Foghat sound. As the popularity grew, of course, lineups changed. It is a rock band. Nick Jameson replaced Tony Stevens on bass and contributed to production. He was also a significant force on the band's biggest album, Fool for the City. And there was another replacement bassist, Craig McGregor. Like a lot of bands, they experienced their own strife and lineup changes, as mentioned. When Tony Stevens left because of creative differences and fatigue from the band's rigorous touring schedule. In the late 70s and early 80s, as the band's commercial success started to wane, more creative differences emerged, particularly between Peverett and the rest of the band. He left to create his own version of Foghat in the US, which caused a lot of confusion, and there were legal problems. The successes? Well, Foghat's discography has a lot of significant albums and singles. These are the tunes that cemented their success. Their third album, Energized, came out in 1974. It was their first to go gold, but it was their fifth studio album, Fool for the City, in 75, that brought them mainstream success. That's the one that featured their big hits, Slow Ride, often characterized as infectious. That riff is very catchy, of course, and it's still a mainstay on classic rock radio. Other notable albums, Foghat, the debut, in 1972, feature the popular track I Just Want to Make Love to You, which really showcased that blues rock roots. In 74 came Rock and Roll Outlaws, with the track 8 Days on the Road. Night Shift from 76 continued their run of successful albums with that and a cool copy of Al Green's Take Me to the River. Their live album from 77 was very successful. We'd be remiss if we didn't mention Charlie Hume, who collaborated with Ted Nugent, Humble Pie, and many others. Before joining Foghat in the year 2000, he was with them till 2022. As of 2022, the lineup for Foghat includes Roger Earl, who was with them right back to 1971, an original member, on drums. Brian Bassett, former Wild Cherry guitarist, yes, play that funky music, on lead and slide guitar and backing vocals. He joined in 1999. Rodney O'Quinn on bass guitar, and Scott Holt, lead vocals. Overall, their legacy as a powerful force in blues, rock, and boogie has always kept them on the pages of rock and roll magazines and websites all over the world.
17 or 18, Chase Chandler was putting a band together, all about, similar age. We in southwest London, near Twickenham, I think. In Twickenham, we were doing it, near where I lived. And we played for a couple of months, but never went out and played with each other. But he kept my number. And then when Jimi Hendrix came over, when Chaz brought him over to England, he called me up. I was working as a commercial artist in central London. And he asked me if I'd heard of Jimmy. And I said, yes, he's all over the papers. And, Pete Townsend was raving about him. Eric was. They were all talking about Jimmy. Anyway, the audition was just off Piccadilly Circus in a jazz club called Birdland. And we were lined up outside and it was raining as usual. And Jimmy comes up to me and starts talking to me about some songs he'd written the night before. And it was, I was like, wow. Then I went downstairs. I was about 5 or 6 in line. And I wasn't quite sure what he was doing. He was just playing guitar. He had his Marshall stack, 2 Marshalls. And then he started playing the slow blues, and I had an idea what to do then. Then I think he played Johnny Be Good. Might have played Bob Dylan's song, I recall. But I probably played for like half an hour or more with him. But he made the right choice. Mitch Mitchell was played incredibly well with Jimmy, and the way he played. Once again, like I was talking about Bonzo earlier, Mitch Mitchell played like nobody else had really sort of played in like that type of band. There again, Jimi Hendrix wasn't. I remember like when his first album came out, I shared a flat in London with my friend who was a bass player, Dave, and we sat down and listened to it, and we're like, whoa, we got a long way to go. Yeah, Jimmy was he personified like musical magic. Yeah, it was a sad day when we lost him. That was tragic, because wonder how great and how much more music we would have got. Yeah, Mitch Mitchell was the right choice. He was fantastic as a drummer, and the way.
You know what Stuart Copeland told me? He says, yes, the greatest invention of all time in music was the backbeat. He says it's the backbeat.
The backbeat, yeah. One, two, three, four. Yeah, yeah. Or 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, and Stuart Copeland, what a fantastic drummer. He's scary good. Scary good.
Yeah, he's snappy. He's so snappy.
Oh, yeah. Don't you hate people like that? No, just kidding. No, the police, they changed the way music was played and heard. They really, Stu Copeland and Sting, they were like, they had some magic too.
By the way, I know in some interviews you had said when it comes to Mean Woman Blues, which of course is on the new album, I love that. Got a woman mean as she could be. But the Jerry Lee Lewis song, the B-side was, I looked it up, right. Great Balls of Fire. It was in fact Great Balls of Fire.
Okay. All right. Well, that was well, you heard the story. My father brought that record home because Dad was a piano player, and he said, "Yeah, have a listen to this boy, son. He plays the Joanna," and he put the B-side on, and Jerry Lee Lewis, as was his wont, he would always change the lyrics in any song he ever sang, even if it was somebody else. He would change all the words. Jerry Lewis, he can do whatever he wants. And his lyrics, when Scott and I were talking about it, and Scott went to see Elvis Presley, who had that released as a single, Me Woman Blues, I believe. And I'd only heard Jerry Lee Lewis's version. And Jerry Lee had some different lyrics, and of course there was the original version, and we sort of combined them, and then it was like, how are we going to play it? And Scott and I, there was just drums and guitar. We sat down and worked with the cadence of the lyrics and moved things around, and then initially it started off like a kind of like a jazz kind of that kind of thing, and then Brian got his beautiful nimble fingers on it and turned it into this like sort of other thing. And somebody said it's like channeling Carlos Santana, which is not a bad thing, but it was fun making that record. It really was. It was something none of us, that kind of way of playing, we hadn't played before. So it was, you had
said in an interview, you toured with Captain Beefheart, and you said that was interesting. What did you mean by
that? Well, we had to find drugs for them, marijuana. That because back in England we had hashish, and marijuana was kind of unusual. And they go, well, can we get some weed for us? I said, well, no, we smoke hashish here. What a great band. That was a ton of fun. And we actually got that tour because of Derek Taylor. He was the Beatles publicist. That was his claim to fame. Beautiful man. And he was working for Warner Brothers. And because we couldn't get any dates because our previous manager had blackballed us. Derek Taylor started getting us work. He got us a tour with Captain Beefheart, about 3 weeks, and they were a lot of fun to play with. I mean, really good players and fun too. I mean, there was never a dull moment with them, and that was good for us. I don't know how well we played because it was such a long time ago, and we hadn't really played live in almost 2 years, so it was kind of tough. But I do remember, like, it was a thrill to go out on the road again and like travel and go get to gigs and get to play our 45 minutes or whatever it was. And yeah, Captain Beefheart was an inspiring band. They could play some really cool stuff. They're great musicians, great guys too.
From the school of thought that if there's an original member or a member from the heyday of a band, it's still the band. It's still, I'm of that ilk. I've always felt that way. But what do you say to critics who say, oh, it's not Foghat anymore? What would you tell them?
It's all about the music. It's not about so much as anybody who's in the band or not in the band. Yeah, I'm in the band, and I was a big part of this band right from the beginning. But of course, the band would have been nothing had it not been as a band. Foghat was always a band. It was always 4 people with music. It was never about, yeah, Dave was the lead singer and the main songwriter, but the music came about because of the band. And we played because we played as a band, we functioned as a band. And when a band doesn't function as that, unless of course you're Billy Joel, who's one of those people that just brilliant. And today this band functions as a band. And I think if there's one original member, it means something. But there again, like I said, it's about the music. That's the reason you go to see a band, why you listen to a band. And this Foghat has always been a live band. I mean, what do we mean? A dozen live albums, actually. Only one that went double platinum. But we, every now and again, just about every year, we put out a live CD because we'll go somewhere and somebody will have a recording situation, and we change the set and put like 5 or 6 different songs in. We have this is our 17th studio album, so it's about the music. If some people don't want to come and see us because Lonesome Dave is not here, then that's up to them. I miss him. I miss Rob Price. Rob Price actually left the band. Actually, Dave even left the band one time, went back to England for 5 years. That's another story. I never did. I carried on playing.
Sonic Mojo.
Okay, about that. Hold on a second.
Okay. Yeah. Man, it never ceases to amaze me interviewing, older rockers. The vibrancy. I mean, this album is alive. You're going to drive fast listening to this album.
We're all really pleased the way it turned out. But there again, I like just about every record Foghat ever made. We always, with anything we ever made, we did it because we were enjoying it or liked it. Nobody told us what to do. It was always the band's fault. So we take the wins and we take the losses as well.
Well, I really hope you enjoyed that. Roger Earl is quite a character, huh? Still doing it after a lot of years. The only original member left in Foghat. There'll be links to Foghat in the description of this video. Also links if you want to help out the channel. We're in the process of changing our mics, and buying good mics are very expensive. So this little Yeti Blue is pretty good. We need a better mic than this. So if you want to help us out, you can make a donation on our PayPal page. There's links in the description. Also links to Patreon where you can get early access to all our videos. And remember to subscribe, click the notifications so you don't miss a video. A lot of folks have a tendency to forget that. But click the bell notification, you'll get included in everything we do, and you can join our newsletter too. There's a link in the description where you can do that. Like our videos, comment on them, and share them on social media. I'm John Bowden. This is Rock History Music.